Hello again. I'm going to read you another book from my collection, Naughty Stories for Good Boys and Girls. Now, if you've been watching these videos for a while, you'd know I've done a few. If you haven't seen any of the others, then look on the YouTube channel, and I've done Clumsy Clive, I've done The Mad Dentist, I've got Bully Boy Boofer Barnes, and I've also got That Dirty Dog. So they're all on the channels already. So if you want to have a look, please do. And if you've watched them so far, I hope you've enjoyed them. This one's called The Preppie from Hell. From the moment Mrs. Waite mentioned a double excursion, our whole class was abuzz with excitement. A visit to the State Library followed by a tour of an ice cream factory. Eat as much as you like. There was a catch, isn't there always? As part of your education, said Mrs. Waite, we're going to be joined by our preschoolers, or preppies as we call them. And guess what? Each of you will be given one preppie to hold by the hand, and it's your job to look after them. We'll be there to watch over everybody, of course, but it's basically up to you. Oh, hold their hand? Asked Trevor Pryor. They'll probably just have their little fingers up their noses. Quite possibly, said Mrs. Waite. And that's the point, teaching you that being in charge is not always easy. That with freedom goes responsibility. Sounds like a load of rubbish, whispered Trevor. My preppy tries anything, I'll kick his butt. It wasn't long before we were standing outside the library, surrounded by the roughest looking lot of preppies I have ever seen. Some had runny noses, others itched their smelly little bottoms, others had bits of breakfast still on their faces. And you should have seen mine, the most evil looking little monster you could imagine. He had sticky up hair, dirty hands and a nasty looking grin, smelly socks and a large bogey smeared right across his face. And just to say hello, by way of a joke, he kicked me right in the shin. Hello, I said. My name's Philip. What's yours? Oscar, he replied. Well, Oscar, I said, kick me like that again and I'll push you in front of a truck. Oscar seemed to go quiet after that. Or so I thought. It was only a short time later that I looked around to drag Oscar by the hand into the library when I realised he'd gone. Disappeared off the face of the planet. How dare he, I thought. I'll wring his little neck. Then another thought occurred to me. What if he's run onto the road and he does get hit by a truck? I'll never forgive myself. Panic. Tell the teacher. Then a sharp pain in my toe. It was Oscar, suddenly back by my side and stamping on my foot. You little idiot, I yelled. Nick off like that again and you're history. And you'll never guess. Oscar grinned, turned and ran off again. Did you see that? I said to Mrs. Waite. He didn't even listen. Do you always listen and do what you're told? Asked Mrs. Waite. Yes, I said quickly then. No. Off I ran, chasing the little rat, only to find that Oscar was already in the library, tearing pages out of a very old-looking book. No! I screamed. Then, as I dived to catch him, off he shot again, straight under the table. A reading table with lots of serious-looking men seated around. And guess who they glared at? Not Oscar. They hadn't even seen him. There's a boy under... I tried to say. Shh. They all hissed back. But shh. What could I do but wait? From under the table, I could see Oscar grinning at me as he quietly tied the men's shoelaces together. Who is this little rat bag? The preppy from hell. What could I do but wait? Of course, Oscar quickly became bored. No sooner had I turned to see the rest of my class walking in when I realised he'd gone again. Suddenly I saw him hiding behind a shelf. I could see his dirty little knees through a gap in the books. I snuck up from behind, slowly, quietly, and grabbed him by the collar. "What do you think you're doing?" I screamed. "I should knock your stupid little block off. Luckily, you're not my brother, or else I would." "But I want you to be my brother," said Oscar. "What?" I replied, not having the slightest idea what he was talking about. But Oscar didn't say anything. Instead, he just cried and hugged my leg. It was Mrs. Waite who explained. Poor Oscar lost his brother last year, knocked over by a car. He's been looking for a new one ever since. He misses him so badly that he somehow thinks that if he could invent a new brother, the pain will go away. Well, Oscar isn't my new brother, but at school I certainly play with him as if he is. Each morning, when I see his little face light up, it makes me feel like I've never felt before. Sort of needed. And I like it. It's okay to love a kid like he was your brother, even though he's just a smelly, preppy loser. Well, I think it is.